Okay, so this is electronics placement, and I do have to say, even though this heli has several trays and areas where you can tuck wire, this wasn't the easiest electronics install, mainly because I'm using the Align 2-in-1, which is quite large. Okay, in retrospect, I probably would have gotten a regulator or gone 8-volt setup with 8-volt setup servos, would have eliminated the need for a regulator. Except for maybe the gyro or whatnot. You could use a step down for the servo on that, and depending on your throttle servo. But it sure would clean up stuff. But anyway, this is what I wound up with. And as you can see, I've got my battery pack up here in the Align 2-in-1 right here. Okay, and strapped them together. I put a piece of Velcro between the 2-in-1 and the battery so they don't rattle and this thing doesn't cut into the battery, etc. So there's some Velcro between there. Obviously some Velcro on the tray to keep the whole unit from sliding, and the straps. Okay, receivers down below, as you can see. If you were running a Futaba receiver with the long antennas, or this Airtronics, which I'm running, I've got one antenna coming up here. All right, one antenna folded back, but coming out here at the nose of the canopy. That was the most optimum way I could find to route them. Got the Align 2-in-1 switch and glow igniter here, because when the canopy goes on, you can reach it. I couldn't really find anywhere else to stick it, and I didn't want to stick it on the fan shroud, of course. I probably will go in and do the switch mod on this 2-in-1 because it's very close to the engine, and as several people have noticed, and Ron Lund found on his website, that fuel or whatever getting in this can actually cause the switch to corrode and could cause some of the failures people are seeing on 2-in-1. For now, I just went ahead and did it, but I'm probably going to make that mod and put a rocker switch on. There's plenty of room somewhere here to put a rocker switch. Alright, all my wiring is bundled up here. Okay, I just bundled it all up. The gyro wire is rather long, and Angelos has told me many times don't shorten it. Okay, I didn't. I tried to keep the gyro wires as separate from the servo wires as possible for noise. If I do have a problem, maybe I'll just move the gyro wires to the other side over here. Alright, but that's where I got them. Again, there are little neat little crevices and whatnot to tuck wiring up and tie wrap them, but this is kind of what I did, and I do have some of the wires tied up in there. I had to lengthen the 2-in-1 glow wire to reach the glow plug because it just didn't reach from up here. Additionally, the ground wire I put down here because this is a carbon frame, and I checked it conductivity between the motor and this bolt, and I had close to zero resistance, so this should ground just fine, mainly because the frame's conductive. So that worked out well. Otherwise, I would have had to have lengthened it and brought it back here to the engine backplate or something. I have not installed my Spectrum sensor yet for the governor because I don't have the landing gear on, and I don't want to damage it by setting it down on the table. Okay, again, Spartan gyro up here. Again, make sure you've got this thing taped so the vibration allows the foam to work and it's not touching the frames anywhere. Leave a little bit of a loop so that any vibration doesn't pull on the gyro. Put the Align governor here. Basically, it's mounted there. I mean, the Velcro does cover the LED, but you can slide it back enough to program it. No big deal. So that's basically my electronics placement where I put everything. I know some guys like the wire shielding and whatnot. I'm sure you can do that. Find little places underneath here to tuck it. This is just how I did it. In case I decide later to move stuff around or do something, it should be easy. One Velcro strap. So other than that, not a whole lot more to say about electronics placement. You don't have a whole lot of choices on placing stuff, but there is room, and as you can see, even with an Align 2-in-1. By the way, I checked the CG with the Align 2-in-1, and it does balance. I'm sure guys not running something like this have probably gone to a bigger flight pack, which this is a 2200 Outrage pack. I forget exactly what the name of it is now, but or 2500 pack, which probably yield me about 4 to 5 flights, maybe a little more before I need to charge it. Good enough. Anyway, that's electronics placement, and basically after that we're getting down on parts. Not much left, so all we got left in the upcoming videos is putting the boom supports on, mounting the landing gear and bottom plate. Not very difficult stuff to do. I'll just kind of touch on some things, and that should finish up the build, so stay tuned for those follow-on videos.